everybody, welcome to Jamie Reviews. My name is Mary Beth, and today we are here to review Brooks's newest trail shoe. You may have seen it. It's called the Brooks Catamount. This is a new, lightweight, really fast-feeling trail shoe from Brooks, which features the DNA Flash midsole material that we saw in the Hyperion Tempo, which came out earlier this year. So anyways, I've been running in this trail shoe for about 2 weeks, and I'm ready to tell you guys my thoughts. So let's get into it. I'm going to take you through the upper of this shoe, the midsole of this shoe, and the outsole of this shoe. Then I'm going to give you a little overview and tell you what I liked and didn't like about the Brooks Catamount. So let's get into it. Starting with the upper of the Catamount. It is an engineered mesh upper, pretty lightweight, pretty close to the foot, and overall this upper is pretty minimal and no frills. We've got some printed overlays up here, just around the lateral side, on the toe cap, and on the medial side. I think there's a little bit of a cutout there just to provide for some ventilation and for some drainage if you're running on wetter trails. The shoe also features a little bit of a booty construction, so the tongue is kind of like a neoprene material. It attaches around the instep and kind of cradles your instep and your midfoot. And yeah, honestly, the upper is really simple. There's not a lot to it, which I like. It stays out of the way while fitting really nicely to the foot. It's got a spacious toe box. I think this upper is going to accommodate most foot shapes and sizes. I have a really high instep and I had absolutely no problems. It felt awesome on my foot. So the upper felt great. Also features a little gator trap if that is your thing. So that's cool. It's pretty minimal though, so you can't really tell. It's pretty low-key. Kind of some interesting design things on the upper, like this part where it's like my crew, which I think is for if you were running an ultra and you had a crew. I guess you could put their names on there. I don't know. Also got some little like colored dots. So I wasn't really sure what was going on with those design elements of the upper. They feel kind of random. But they're there. I don't really understand them. And I gotta talk about the white upper too. Everyone is talking about the freaking white upper. It's actually staying pretty clean for me, even though I've run about 30 miles in it. The white upper, if you don't, I have seen some of the other colors that the Catamount is coming out in, and they're really cool. So just hang on if you can't deal with the white upper. But also the white upper looks cool, so you should just suck it up and get the white upper. Now let's talk about the midsole. So this lovely turquoise midsole that you see is DNA Flash. We saw DNA Flash come out earlier this year in that Brooks Hyperion Tempo, which I have here. If you remember, the Hyperion Tempo was that really fast, lightweight road shoe that they introduced. And it has a nitrogen-infused foam in the midsole called DNA Flash, which they have now put into a trail shoe in the Catamount. So it's a nitrogen-infused foam, which basically means it's a really lightweight midsole material, and it feels really responsive, really poppy, really bouncy, really springy. I love DNA Flash. I was so excited to hear that Brooks was putting it in a trail shoe. I immediately texted Jamie and was like, please let me review the Catamount because I want that. I've been running more trails recently, and I feel like the market for a responsive, fast-feeling trail shoe is kind of lacking. Like, we have the Nike Terra Kiger, we've got some Salomon shoes, which are all really high drop for some reason, and there's the Hoka Torrent. All great shoes, but where's Brooks' responsive, lightweight trail shoe? Well, now we have our answer. Here it is. I just went on a sidebar. Anyways, I was really excited to hear that they were putting DNA Flash into a trail shoe. I think that it feels awesome. It functions effortlessly on the trails. it's just fun to run in, you guys. Like, it's plush enough without being really mushy or overly soft. And mostly it's just really bouncy. I will say that the midsole in the Catamount feels firmer than the midsole in the Hyperion Tempo, probably for two reasons. Number one, this midsole has a rock plate. They call it the ballistic rock shield. It's basically like a hard plastic plate meant to protect your feet from sharp rocks or other sharp pointy stuff on the trail. So I think that adds a touch of firmness. And then also just having like a firmer, more aggressive outsole. This DNA Flash midsole really does interact with those materials and reads as a little bit firmer. Would I like it to feel a little more plush? Yeah, I would, but overall, I'm not mad at it. Still feels pretty good. So that's DNA Flash. That's the midsole. It's pretty cool. It feels a lot like the Skechers Razor. Other than that, there's not really much I can compare this midsole to, just because it is so different from the other midsole materials on the market. And y'all, I'm proud of Brooks. I feel like their midsole materials have kind of been falling flat lately. Nothing super exciting, nothing to write home about. DNA Flash is it. This is the stuff. Like, put it in everything because it feels awesome. So yeah, nice midsole. The outsole is Trail Tack rubber, which is the same outsole rubber that we see on the Brooks Cascadia and the Brooks Caldera, some other shoes in their trail line. It's a really sticky, grippy, durable outsole material, which works really well. Obviously, Brooks is headquartered in the Pacific Northwest. They're up in Seattle, and so they know about wet climates. They know about slippery roads and slippery trails, and I think that's where Trail Tack comes from. It functions really well and just provides a lot of grip, even on wet or slippery surfaces. So I like the Trail Tack. It is a single piece outsole, so it's just one slab of rubber slapped onto the outsole of this shoe, which definitely contributes to the shoe being more rigid. There's not a lot of flexion in the outsole, but I think on the trail you kind of want something rigid. That's gonna add an element of protection. So I didn't mind that it's a really rigid outsole. I think it feels nice and it helps you feel secure and safe on the trails. So the outsole for me was a thumbs up. And that's pretty much all of the technology in the shoe. My overall thoughts on this shoe are that it's super cool. It feels really fast. Everything from the sleek modern upper to the DNA Flash midsole to that sticky, durable outsole just feels fast and fun to run in. It's surprisingly durable. I think the Trail Tack outsole is really durable. And I think that these printed overlays on the upper provide an element of durability to the shoe too that I found surprising. Initially looking at this shoe, I wasn't expecting it to feel durable or to feel supportive in the upper and in the outsole, but it really does, which is really cool. It's a nice little package. Honestly, my main complaint about this shoe is that I think the lugs are a little bit too low and it kind of limits the amount of surfaces that you could take this shoe on. I think on really technical trails, it's not going to provide you enough grip and technical ability. I mostly was running on flatter packed trails like dirt and bark trails. I did some loose rock stuff and it worked great on all of those surfaces. But I think if I was doing really technical stuff, I would probably pull another trail shoe out of my closet, maybe something like the Saucony Peregrine that has some more aggressive lugs. So in the next version of the shoe or in another trail shoe, I would love to see everything else the shoe has just paired with some more aggressive teeth on the outsole to provide for a little more grip. While we're talking about surfaces though, I also ran in this shoe on the road a good bit, probably like 10 or 12 miles collectively on the road, and I think it functions pretty well as a road shoe. Part of that is because the lugs are less aggressive. It can transition onto those surfaces pretty effortlessly, which I thought was cool. And one of my main beefs with the Hyperion Tempo was that the outsole was not grippy enough. It's a pretty slippery outsole. And so if you had that same experience with the Hyperion Tempo, but liked everything else in the shoe like I did, you might actually really like having the Brooks Catamount as something that you could have as an option to take on the roads. Because this rubber outsole is going to be so sticky and grippy, I think that really kind of fixes the problem I had with the Hyperion Tempo. So I'm honestly going to keep this in my lineup as sort of a trail road hybrid, just because it has that versatility to it. It does feel really firm on the road, but if you're like me and you kind of like firm shoes, I don't think you'll have a problem with that. So I did want to add that note. Overall, this shoe is definitely Mary Beth approved. I think that it is such a fun little package. It's such a fun, fast shoe. It is not the shoe I'm gonna pick for really long, like multi-hour trail runs or really technical trail runs, but for daily trail running or even for trail to road transitions, I think that the Brooks Catamount is an amazing shoe. And I'm so excited to keep it in my lineup and continue running in it. Yeah, so I don't know, I'm curious to hear what you guys think. Be sure to let us know in the comments down below what your first impressions of the Brooks Catamount are. Yeah, if you're interested in this shoe, I bet Jamie will throw a link in the description to where you can purchase this shoe through Running Warehouse. It's available for purchase now. It won't ship until August 1st because that's when the shoe is released. But if you want to get your hands on the Catamount, that's the best way to do it. Comments, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to be notified when Jamie uploads new reviews or new videos. And yeah, with that being said, please don't forget to stay in school, support your local businesses, and don't do drugs. Don't do them. And if you can, please keep it tight. Okay, bye guys. We will see you next time.